What's up, everybody? We are live. We have a banging card tomorrow night. We got Davison, the champ, versus Alex Perez. And Kelton, what's up, man? What do you think about this card?
I love it, bro. We got both flyweight titles on the line here. We got Davison and Alex, who I've been a big fan of both guys for a long time. I mean, arguably, we know Davison. He's the heaviest hitter in the flyweight division, by far. Alex Perez, you might be able to argue he's the second hardest hitter in the division. So, for a couple of little guys, there's going to be some serious heat being thrown around. And then on the other side, you got the women's flyweight title fight, which might not be getting a lot of interest just because it might not be as competitive as the men's title fight. Valentina's currently sitting at a minus 1,700 favorite, but I think anytime we get to see Valentina Shevchenko in the octagon, it's a treat for us, man. I might go ahead and say she's pound for pound, like the most talented woman we've ever seen fight, like period. So excited to talk about that fight.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about contender series just for a second. It was a good contender series. I should have tracked it. I'm kind of mad, but I bet on Lutz maybe 10 minutes before. I wasn't confident in betting him, But then when I saw the line getting better, I'm like, I'll just take a shot on him right before the fight. You know what, man? A lot of people are saying he's not that good. I think he could win fights in the UFC. I think Blackwood just talented, but he's just green. But that was probably the best fight on the card, man. The main event was kind of that was controversial. What do you think about the contender series?
What was the main event again? Oh, the JP Bays fight. Honestly, dude, what I took away from that contender series card the most, I love that dude, Nicholas Maximov or Diazimov. That guy's the man. He just, he dominated a guy, fucking 60 pounds heavier than him. It looked like a complete mismatch in the cage, size-wise. He was able to do his thing. I believe he took that fight on short notice, too. And Dana White said that he was going to offer that guy to be on the Ultimate Fighter, which I love that, man. He's following right in the footsteps of his protege, Nate Diaz. Of course, we know Nate Diaz was on the Ultimate Fighter, talked a lot of shit, got into some altercations. I want to see that with Maximov, man. I want to see him in the Ultimate Fighter house. I know how he is. You saw that post-fight interview. He talks just like Nate Diaz. Same personality. So you put that guy in the Ultimate Fighter house, you're going to get some exciting, clips for sure.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about recap for the last card, man. Yeah, good card. I kind of got lucky on one of the fights to talk about right now, but betting wise, yeah, I had a minus 0.6 unit on the night. So it was pretty, pretty close. It wasn't, a terrible night. Pretty close to even. RDA versus Paul Felder. That was a dominant fight for RDA. So I don't know why it was a split decision. The judges were pretty weird that card. Chaos versus Razak. We were both wrong on that. A lot of people were wrong on that. Man, I like Razak, man, a lot, but maybe this guy's just at the end of his career. That was that wasn't a jab, but it wasn't really a hard shot. Maybe Chaos Williams hits really hard. I know he's been training with Buckley, so we'll see how Chaos Williams looks in the next fight he gets. Maybe he can get a guy like Nico Price. Oh my God, dude! Imagine Nico Price versus Chaos Williams. That would be fireworks. Ashley Yoder versus Granger. Yeah, that was a bad bet on my part. Granger, yeah, she looked decent early, won the first round, but Yoder just kind of big sister her. Sean Strickland versus Allen, and those are my two losing bets tonight. Honestly, dude, I was really biased, man. I'll admit that because pre-tape, I thought Strickland could win that fight, but I'm just a big Allen guy, and I just had to ride with him, and it really burned me, man, because the guy's game plan was really bad this fight. He wanted to showcase his striking after training with Hoof, and he didn't even shoot one time. He flopped his back. Strickland out grappled him. It was a bad showcase, dude. Strickland proved, dude, that he's a top 15 dude. And I think Strickland should fight the winner of Heinich and Gasson to make it fight. Or if something happens to Holland or Hermanson, dude, book Holland versus Strickland. Oh my God, dude. Imagine Strickland versus Holland, dude. That would be one of the best fights in that division you can make right now. Corey McKenna versus Hansen. I agree. I think Hansen probably won 29-28, but it was a close fight, dude. I don't think it was a robbery. I don't. McKenna outstruck her. It all goes down, in my opinion, to that first round because the second round was McKenna, the third round was Hansen. Even though Hansen didn't do much in the third round besides laying on her, and then McKenna kind of reversed her, but the throw come down in the first round. So I don't think it was a robbery. I probably scored it for Hansen, but I'll take that close decision, man, all day. Because a lot of close decisions have been going my way. So we got Murata versus Marcos. Dominant decision for Murata. I mean, that was dominant, too. Gravely versus De Freitas. Close fight. You know, Gravely got the dub, but he will be faded, man. I don't think the kid is that impressive. He's not that good. Murata versus McKee. Yeah, I mean, what do you want to say about this fight, dude? McKee just showed that he's not really UFC material. Maybe they'll do McKee versus Mickey Gall. That'd be a pretty interesting fight. Mays versus Roki. Yeah, I mean, this is a terrible fight, dude. I mean, Mays is not good at all, but Roki's not good. Roki almost got the submission, but yeah. Congrats to Mays for the dub, but he'll be favored. So yeah, what about you, man? Tell us about your recap.
Yeah, man, I had a good one. I swept the card, all three of my bets. It felt good for sure. One of my bets did get canceled, though. I had 4. I had Lewis Smolka. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I got a little worried about that one on weigh-ins with Smolka missing weight and him making posts where he just I just didn't like what I saw. And I was fully expecting to lose that bet, to be completely honest. I thought about hedging, but I just decided to write it out, and the fight got canceled anyway. So it is what it is. Rafael dos Anjos. I had him in a parlay. I have him in a parlay with somebody on this card, actually. So that side of the parlay cash for me. I mean, what can I say about this one? Paul Felder fought a fucking top 10 guy on 5 days' notice, and it showed. And not only that, not only did the short notice show, Rafael dos Anjos just simply has a big grappling advantage, and he fought smart. I don't know what the fuck that judge was thinking that scored it for Felder. I mean, I thought there was only one round that could have arguably gone to Felder. I think it was either the 4th or the 5th. I think the 4th, but all the respect in the world to Paul Felder. I'm not going to discredit him or drop stock for him whatsoever from this fight. Chaos Williams, shocks the world once again against Razik Al Hassan, but I'm not gonna lie, man. I was kind of getting vibes that would happen towards the end of the week, just because I don't know, man. Something about Razik, I don't know what it is, but there's just something from him I don't like to see right now. He's definitely a hard worker. Dude's in shape for sure. I mean, he hits hard as fuck. Something's just missing though. I don't know. Something's missing. I don't know what it is. I don't know the guy, but something's missing clearly, because honestly, if you watch the tape on that fight, Razak Al Hassan was clearly the more impressive fighter. Sometimes shit just happens, though. Don't want to take anything away from Chaos, though. I mean, I thought the same shit with Alex Morono. I thought Alex Morono was far and away the better fighter, but when you got the death touch like Chaos Williams, sometimes the shit just simply doesn't matter. So excited to see who he gets next. Yoder and Granger, I mean, low-level women's fight. I don't even really want to talk about it, but credit to Yoder for getting the win. Sean Strickland, that's a dude I'll give all the credit in the world to. I mean, he looked like an absolute killer, man. And for a guy that used to fight at 170 pounds to fight Brennan Allen here at 195 pounds, I mean, fuck, dude. Strickland is the man. He's a beast. Brennan Allen, I mean, at least he lost to a great guy in Sean Strickland. Brennan Allen's still young. Brennan Allen's still talented. Brennan Allen will be back. So, yeah, props to Sean. Corey McKenna and Kay Hansen. Boy, did I dodge a fucking bullet here. I wanted to parlay Kay Hansen early in the week. I liked her a lot in this spot, and I thought she clearly won the fight. I don't know what the judges were thinking on this card. There was just horrible shit all over the place, and for this to be unanimous is just disgusting to me. Justin, I know you cashed in. Here's the thing. Although I thought you should have lost the bet, you still made a great bet, because those odds you got on Corey McKenna for the fight being that close, I mean, you keep making spots like that, you're going to cash long term. So I do think K won, but I still think you made a great bet. Kanako Murata, Randa Marcos, this was my other winning play. I had 2 units on Murata via decision at plus 125, and although I was very right about Murata being the better woman here, I sweated that prop out, bro, because she was close to subbing Marcos multiple times. I was very worried. She was minus 200 for a reason here, man. I got a little risky with the prop, although it cashed. I got to clean that up a bit because, man, she's got great sub skills too. I mean, Randa just showed good defense. Randa's just a very experienced girl. Kanako Murato is probably going to sub some fools depending on who she gets next. I like this girl a lot. Tony Gravely, this is my other winning play of the night. I had 3 units on him at minus 145, but this is another one I don't feel completely great about because, god damn, I'll say this. I'm never going to bet Tony Gravely again because I completely overrated him, although the wrestling was enough to get it done against this guy who has, De Freitas has close to 0 takedown defense. Although he got it done, man, his striking is just really bad. Really bad. If he fights someone who can keep it on the feet, he's going to be in trouble, man. Tony Gravely has a lot to work on, but he is a very talented wrestler. I'll give him that, and I'm happy he cashed the bet for me. And Alex Moreno dominated Reese McKee. Reese McKee just looked like a punching bag out there, to be honest, and he's very tough. I'll give him that, but he didn't belong in there with Moreno. So props to Moreno for getting back on the win streak. And then last fight, Dontel Mays. I mean, what can I say? They gave Dontel Mays practically the easiest fight they could have given him. I mean, we got this 6'7", I don't know what he weighed in at, close to the limit dude versus a 5'10". I mean, let's be honest, Roki's a fat middleweight. So the fact that he couldn't even finish that dude, and the fact that he even lost a round to that dude, Roki, I thought Roki could have easily been given one of those rounds. I forgot which one, but damn, Mays is going to be faded as soon as he fights a real guy.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree. I mean, both of us are really just waiting for Perry to make weight, man. Hopefully he does it. If he doesn't make weight, hopefully the fight happens. But first fight of the night, man, we got a good fight here. I mean, not really a good fight, but I mean, it's going to be a good finish. We got Louis Coast, one of the brothers versus Sasha. And who do you got in this?
Yeah, man, we were just actually talking about this one for a little bit before we went on air. I am not impressed with Sasha Palatnikov. Just don't like what I see, man. I mean, the only guy he fought that I know of, Munir Lazez, I mean, completely demolished him. Now, granted, Munir Lazez is a great fighter, and I'd probably take him over Louis Cosce as well, but just what I saw in that fight, he looked like he completely didn't belong whatsoever. I mean, I have no reason to believe Louis Cosce won't be able to come in here and do the same thing. That's what he's made his career out of doing so far. All first-round knockouts, then got the step up on Contender Series. And it was a big step up. Cosce was fighting a lot of bums, and although I don't think super highly of Victor Reina was at least a big step up from the guys he was fighting, and I wouldn't say this dude Sasha Palatnikov is much better than fucking Victor Reina. So I think Louis Cosce is a rightful big favorite here. I think he's going to come out here and do what he's been doing. I think he gets that first round knockout. That's what I'm going to pick. Where I'm struggling on this one, man, is he's going to get that first round knockout most likely. I believe he's the highest favorite on the card other than Valentina, but he's 9,300 on DraftKings. It's a tough DraftKings card, guys. Like, if I want to plug in Louis Cosce here at 9,300, there's so much that I have to sacrifice. I'm being forced to play a big dog that I might not feel comfortable to. So it's a tough one, man. I'm going to have some shares of Cosce for sure, but, I'm not going to have as much on him as I normally would for a guy that I think is going to get a first-round knockout. So, yeah, I'll go with Cosce.
Yeah, man, I got Cosce too. I think that he's the better brother of the two. I think he's a finisher. I think he has good pressure, man. He has a good right hand. I mean, knocking out Reina was pretty impressive, man. Reina's, he's been around. I mean, Reina beat D-Rod, so got to give him credit for that. And, yeah, Sasha's, 5-2, trains at Syndicate MMA. Yeah, I just don't think he's really that impressive. Cosce's going to get the dub here, so I got Cosce by finish. Next fight, man, we got Dustin Stoltzfus versus Kyle Daukaus. This is a great fight, man. I've been really impressed, man, with Daukaus, man. Even before the UFC, the guy, is undefeated prospect. He's huge for 185. He's a black belt. He has a lot of wins by submission. I think all his wins are by submission besides one. He gets a lot of wins with his darce. I mean, he has really long arms. He has a nasty darce. His striking's good. He was picking apart Allen on the feet. But, I mean, Allen won that fight because he hurt him in the body with that knee and kind of controlled him on the mat. And then the third round, it was Daukaus who out-grappled him and probably got a 10-8, dude. Daukaus has good cardio. He's the bigger dude. I think Stoltzfus is not really a big middleweight. I think he could actually make welterweight. But, yeah, Daukaus has a size advantage here. I think Daukaus is a little bit better everywhere. I don't think Stoltzfus is bad. He's no slouch, but if you watch the Contender Series, he can get taken down pretty easily. I know Piper's, a pretty big dude too, but even before that, I mean, you watch Stoltzfus' fights, he gets taken down, man. And if you get taken down against Daukaus, dude, that's Daukaus' world, dude. I know Stoltzfus has a good ground game too, but he's not a legit black belt like Daukaus. And yes, he got a twister, a couple fights ago, but I mean, still, dude, Daukaus is just a better guy. I think Daukaus is good striking. He's tactical. I was pretty impressive slam that he had against Piper, but if you watch that fight, Piper was winning that fight, man, until that happened. So, and Piper, I bet on Piper there, and I mean, Piper really didn't fight anybody before that Stoltzfus fight, so pretty, impressive for Piper. He was winning that fight, he looked good until that happened, that slam. But yeah, Daukaus, good technical striker, good right hand, really good chin, good pressure, man. He's just the better grappler, the better striker. I think the line's off for sure. Stoltzfus has 7 wins by finish. This is UFC debut. He's on a 10-fight leg streak or winning streak. And one thing about Stoltzfus I'll say here, he has good leg kicks, dude. So he could definitely chop at Daukaus' legs. But I just think that Daukaus is a little bit everywhere the fight goes. And I think this is a good play for DraftKings. So I'm going to go with Kyle Daukaus, and I'm going to go with a submission win. I know it's going to be tough to submit a guy like Stoltzfus. He's never been finished, but, I mean, I'm really high, man, on Daukaus, dude. And I know a lot of people were shitting on him for that Allen performance. I thought he looked great against Fred Allen, dude. That was just a short notice fight, and it was a close fight. So I got Kyle Daukaus. I'm going to say he hurts Stoltzfus on the feet and grabs another submission win. I'll go with Kyle Daukaus, second round, Dart stroke.
Wow. Yeah, man, this is a good fight. I think these guys are pretty similar to each other in a way. Like, I think they both have a lot to work on when it comes to their striking for sure. And then on the ground, I think both guys are excellent grapplers. So I sure as hell hope this fight takes place on the ground most of the time rather than the feet. But I don't know, man. Sometimes it doesn't really go that way. A lot of the time, these grapplers will, neutralize each other, and they'll see who's better on the feet. And I got to edge Kyle Daukaus on the feet here a little bit, man. I just don't like what I saw from Stoltzfus. I think Daukaus has a much higher ceiling here. Like you said, Stoltzfus wasn't even winning his Contender Series fight up until the point where, he slammed the guy. In credit to Stoltzfus, he did that. He slammed the guy. He fucking, broke his arm. I don't know. This fight, it's weird to me because I favor Daukaus for sure. Like, Daukaus should 100% be the favorite. I feel like, although both guys are similar, I edge Daukaus by a little bit in every single area. Not only that, I mean, I feel like he's the one that's probably going to be making the bigger leaps in between fights. So I got to favor Daukaus. I'm just not sure how much by. So I don't know, man. Maybe if Stoltzfus can, if he can, pull off some kind of like, if he can get on top of Daukaus, I can see him holding Daukaus the rest of the round. If he gets Daukaus' back, I can see him holding Daukaus' back for the rest of the round. Like, I can see Stoltzfus winning this fight. It's just I give him less than a 50% chance. So I'll go with Daukaus. I'm going to say he wins 2 of the rounds, 29-28, unanimous.
Nice fight, dude. This is our first play of the night for both of us. We got Jared Night Train Gooden versus Alan Jouban. This is one of those fights, man, where it kind of hurts me because I'm a big Brahma fan. I'm definitely, Jouban's definitely been one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I never bet against him, but that changes here. I got 2 units on Jared Gooden at plus 135. I think this is a good spot for the newcomer. I mean, I've liked this kid, man, for a while. If you watch the tape on him, he definitely, man, has good striking. He's a big dude for 170. He's fought at 185. Everyone shitted on him for the Bruno Oliveira fight. I mean, Oliveira is a big dude, man, and he just lost the Contender Series at 205. I don't think anyone is talking about that. They're just saying, oh, he just got knocked out by some bum that just fought a Contender Series. Number 1, he's not a bum. Number 2, that guy just fought at 205. You know how big he is? Let's be honest, dude. Jared had no business fighting at 185. He's a natural 170er. He's probably one of the biggest welterweights on the roster right now. And I think that this is a good spot for him, man. Jouban, man, he's washed. He's on the decline. His chin is not good. If you watch his last couple of fights, it's not the same Jouban that throws a lot of volume. He's more kind of like a point fighter. You saw that in his fight against Dwight Grant. I don't know what he was doing after the fight. Dwight Grant clearly won that fight, and Jouban's acting like that was the biggest robbery of the year. He just did he even throw, dude? I mean, yeah, you got a nice takedown in the third round with 10 seconds left, but that's not going to win you the fight. But yeah, one thing about Jouban, he's technical. He does have really good boxing. He's a brown belt. I don't know. He barely even shoots. I mean, he shot last fight, but like, is he even going to be able to take a guy like Gooden down? I doubt it. Gooden's a brown belt as well. If you talk about like who has more power on the feet, it's 100% Gooden. Who's more durable? It's Gooden. Gooden has one of the best chins, man, in the division. Um, I like his jab. I like his pressure. I like his left hand. I like his right hand. Um, I mean, a big thing for both of us in this fight is just Jouban's on the way out, man. I mean, he's talking about it. He's, having that podcast with Karen Bryant saying that he only has a couple more fights left. He's 38 years old. If you watch him lately, even the Ben Saunders fight, I know he got the KO, but Saunders was kind of throwing some good shots. And if a guy like Saunders can have success in that fight, what do you imagine Gooden's going to do? I know Gooden, hasn't fought the competition that Jouban has. Gooden's last fight against McCown, I thought that was a good performance. Man, he threw a lot of volume in that fight, and that's one thing about just going to take over in this fight. Gooden has more volume than Jouban. I think Gooden just has to pressure him like he always does, and he has to, just touch that chin. Everyone's talking about Gooden's cardio. I don't think it's bad. I think Jouban slows down too. I actually think Gooden might have the better cardio here. So I think it's a good spot. I just think that he has to, touch that chin, and once he hurts Alan Jouban, he just has to weather that storm and get him out of there, man. So it pains me to say it. I like Alan Jouban a lot, but he's on the way out. He's washed up. He's at the end of his career. And now he's fighting a guy who, he's a knockout artist. He's 17-4. He has a lot of wins by finish. And Jouban's been knocked out 3 times, and he's taken a lot of damage. I mean, let's be honest. He's been knocked out 3 times, but Gunnar Nelson hurt him pretty bad, too. He did the chicken dance bad against Gunnar Nelson and then got tapped out. And who is Gunnar Nelson really hurt on the feet, dude? So I'm going to go with Jared Gooden, and I'm going to go with the first round KO.
Man, I've been so excited to talk about this fight all week. Like, man, it's real interesting because with Alan Jouban, I was actually at his fight against Ben Saunders in Orlando. You mentioned that fight. Yeah, he got the knockout. He actually got 2 knockdowns in that fight. But, man, that was kind of like, I don't want to say the first time because, like, we've seen him get knocked out and hurt before. But, like, that was kind of like the first time where we might have started to realize he's, like, declining from, like a level standpoint. Like, this guy's going to start falling down the rankings. And, yeah, he got the round 2 knockout over Ben Saunders, who gets knocked out by everybody. But that was a sketchy fight, man. It didn't look good. And then his next fight, I was actually at that fight as well in Atlanta against Dwight Grant. And again, man, he just didn't look good. Let's be honest, he's hesitant to pull the trigger. I mean, he's getting a little older. He's taking a lot of damage. The proof is in the pudding, man. Like, I love Alan Jouban just as much as you did, bro. Like, you can go on and on about this guy. Like, even dating back to his UFC debut against Seth Baczynski, that fight was a crazy war. He had great fights against Warley Alves and, Bilal Muhammad. The dude beat Bilal Muhammad. He knocked down Bilal Muhammad like 3 times. Beat Mike Perry, too, who's on this card. Alan Jouban was a motherfucker in his prime. So, like, I'm with you, bro. Like, I don't like sitting here talking about how he's declining, how he's chinny now, but we're speaking facts, man. That's the truth. And you mentioned he's 38. He actually turns 39 in 5 days. One step closer to 40, bro. And with Jared Gooden on the other side, I got a little bit of a connection to Jared Gooden as well. I've never met the guy, but like I mentioned, I went to Atlanta for that last Jouban fight. I got an invitation extended to me to visit the gym where Jared Gooden trains sometimes, X3 Sports. He wasn't there, but met a lot of his teammates and met Dan. Shout out to Dan, Best Fight Picks, of course. Who he's pulling for in this fight. But with Jared Gooden, on the other hand, he's 26 years old. He's getting better every fight. Let me say that again, guys. He's 26 years old. He has over 20 pro fights. He's got a lot of AMI fights, too. He's got like 8 AMI fights. Dude, he is 13 years younger than Alan Jouban with just as much experience. And, you mentioned with the Bruno Oliveira fight, guys, how could you even take anything away from Jared Gooden in that fight? Bruno Oliveira is a fucking monster. And if you want to sit here and say he's not a monster just because he lost on Contender Series, dude, that guy Carlos Ulberg is a fucking 205 beast, bro. So just the fact that we're talking about like gigantic monsters like that when breaking down a Jared Gooden fight. That just shows you, I mean, the balls that this guy has to step in there with a fucking 6'6" monster. And here's another thing. He may have gotten, smoked there for sure, but he never went down. Like, Bruno Oliveira wasn't even able to knock him down. Like, he was teeing off. Jared was on his feet the whole time. Jared's got a huge durability advantage, youth advantage, speed advantage, volume advantage. Personally, I think he touches the chin of Alan Jouban, knocks him out inside 1 round. But if this fight happens to get extended 3 rounds, I see him, being the guy to land more volume. So I got 2 units on Jared Gooden, plus 135. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Yeah, man. I mean, forgot to mention, Jouban's on a 3, or not 3, but he's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights, dude. So, I mean, that's also something to consider. And he just did not look good against Dwight Grant, man. Let's be honest. I know Dwight Grant's, kind of a hard fight, with anyone because his counter-striking and stuff. But, I mean, he just looked really slow out there and he didn't throw a lot. He just looked lost out there, man. I mean, he's at the end of his career. I mean, we're not disrespecting him. It's true. He's 39 years old for, in a couple of days, dude. He's not looking like the same Jouban when he first made his debut against Bilal Muhammad. This isn't the same guy, dude. So, yeah, very good. Next fight, we got Daniel Rodriguez versus Nicholas Dalby. We got this one, man. This is a good fight.
Yeah, dude, it is a good fight. I mean, I see no way that this fight isn't exciting. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but both these guys come to fucking bang, dude. I like it a lot. This is gonna be a good fight. I do favor Daniel Rodriguez. He is a big favor here for a reason. I think he's probably got a big advantage on the feet. I like his jiu-jitsu as well. So if Dalby decides to go the wrestling route, I think he might even be in trouble there. But I'm not going to completely write off Dalby. He's extremely scrappy. He's extremely tough. Daniel Rodriguez, when was that fight against Dwight Grant? That wasn't that long ago, right? That was 2 months ago? Okay, 3 months ago now, but still, he got put on his ass bad in that fight. I guess 3 months is enough time. But, I was a lot more confident in Daniel Rodriguez earlier in the week. I'll just say that. Dalby's a tough guy, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and not parlay Rodriguez here. But I'm going to go with Rodriguez, and I'm going to say he wins all 3 rounds for a 30-27 decision. But don't count out Dalby.
Yeah, it's a good fight. We'll be talking about Daniel Rodriguez later in the show as well when we talk about memes. But, yeah, man, Rodriguez he's a good fighter, man. I got to admit, dude, he's a great fighter, man. I mean, I think he could actually be in the top 15. I'm really impressed with this guy. Really good striking. He's big for the division. I mean, he hasn't made weight yet because this guy is one of the biggest welterweights in the roster, let's be honest. He has good cardio, too, for a big dude, man. I know he gassed a little bit against Green, but that's because he threw so much volume, dude. I mean, heavy right hand, heavy straight left. I mean, good boxing. His ground game is good. He's a black belt, man. Good chin. Dwight Grant hurt him really bad, and he showed some really big heart in that fight, dude, because I thought he was going to die, dude. I mean, he got dropped. It looked like he was going to get knocked out, and he just got up, dude. Dude, looked really good, man, and knocked out Dwight Grant, hurt him bad. He's 3-0 in the UFC. The Tim Means fight was a good win, man, on short notice, and you're fighting a guy like Means in their debut. He looked great in that fight. He looked great against Green. I mean, I think this is a good fight for him. Dalby's a good fighter. I don't think he's no slouch. He's not a jobber or anything. But not a good look getting dropped by Ronson and then getting tapped out. So I'm gonna go with Daniel Rodriguez. I think he's gonna hurt him on the feet. I think the same thing's gonna happen. He's gonna hurt him on the feet and get him out of there, man. So I'm gonna go with Daniel Rodriguez with a first round submission. Next fight, dude. This is probably one of the toughest fights for me to call, man, on this title card. We got Antonia Shevchenko versus Aaron Lipski. I've been going back and forth in this fight. It's a tough fight, man, just because Lipski shot for 1 takedown in her UFC career against JoJo, and she got it. But, I mean, JoJo doesn't have the best takedown offense. This fight would be so much interesting if I knew Lipski had the grappling and was going to go out there and shoot, because Chookagian has never shot a takedown before ever, and then she went out there and dominated her on the mat. But Chookagian's definitely a better grappler than Lipski. I mean, Chookagian's I think a black belt, so it's kind of tough, man, to base your tape or base your read on Lipski going to go out there and shoot. I mean, she has to if she wants to win this fight, because if she strikes with Shevchenko for 3 rounds, she's not going to win, dude. Shevchenko's the better striker. She's more technical. But both these girls, man, are frauds, dude. I mean, Shevchenko's a fraud, dude. She just has no ground game at all. If you watch her fights, even on Contender Series, she got taken down by Colleen. I mean, Roxy's a good grappler, though. So Roxy got the dub, great grappling. And then Chukagian, not really a grappler, but she has, um, that black belt, dude. So, I mean, this is a tough fight, dude. I think Shevchenko has good Muay Thai. She has good kicks. She's technical, but her weakness is on the mat. Lipski's weakness is, man, just, I mean, those first two fights were embarrassing to watch. And then against, what's that girl's name that she fought 2 fights ago? Was it Isabel? Or Dave? Was it?
DePadula.
Yeah. I know that she beat that good girl on Contender Series like a couple years ago. That was weird, but DePadula, I mean, went out there and took her down multiple times, dude. And I know she hurt her on the feet, but Lipski has no ground game either, man. So I mean, would it surprise me if Shevchenko took her down? No, it wouldn't, dude. I mean, Shevchenko got that submission against Pudilova. I think Lipski, man, I think she has to get this fight down on the mat. I mean, Lipski has power, dude. She has good pressure. I mean, when she strikes, sometimes she doesn't throw. She has a good right hand. She's, on a 2-fight winning streak. She got that dub last fight. It was a good submission win. I think they both have pretty good jiu-jitsu on the mat. I think this fight all goes down to if Lipski can get her down. If Lipski can get her down, then she has a big advantage. I think she can win. I think she's live for sure. But I just got to go with Shevchenko, keeping her on the feet and just kind of like out techniquing her. So I'll go with Shevchenko with a close decision win here. I see in the chat that Chukagian's a brown belt. I mean, she's either a brown belt or a black belt. It says she's been a brown belt for a while. Maybe she's a black belt. I don't know what she is, but let's be honest. She's a better grappler than Lipski. I mean, I think that's my opinion. I think you agree with me. So I'll go with Shevchenko with a decision.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a better grappler than Lipski, but that doesn't necessarily mean Lipski can't come out here and expose absolutely zero takedown defense, zero get-up game of Antonina Shevchenko. Man, I'm not going to lie. I was really, really debating betting Lipski earlier in the week. You mentioned it. She got the takedown against JoJo. I also saw her get a takedown on the regional scene against Diana Belbita, who's also in the UFC. So I've seen her get a couple takedowns. It's not going to surprise me if she shoots against Anton. And can't say the girl's name. Antonina. It won't surprise me if she shoots on her and gets them and holds her down. Like, won't shock me at all. But I don't know, man. Like, you can't really trust Lipski. She showed bad IQ in the past. She's severely outmatched on the feet here, and that's what she does. I mean, she is a striker. I mean, if she comes out here and just doesn't show half a brain and strikes with Antonina, like, I can't say it surprised me. Sometimes we just can't trust these fighters. Like, sometimes when we make bets, we trust that they're going to follow through with a certain game plan. And man, I've been betting fights for 4 years. Sometimes a lot of the times they just don't follow what you think they're going to do. And in a low-level women's MMA fight, Lipski's shown bad IQ in the past. Can't trust her here. But I will say DraftKings, I mean, she is the underdog on DraftKings on a card where, underdogs are tough to come by. She could get the win. If she does get the win, I'd say she gets a few takedowns, maybe an advance or two. So Lipski for DraftKings might not be the worst play. I'll say this, though. You shouldn't be betting Shevchenko here at minus 160, whatever she is, because, yeah, man, I mean, you can't trust this girl at Juice who has zero takedown defense. There's something you need in the UFC, and that's called takedown defense, and Shevchenko doesn't have it. So won't surprise me at all if she loses, but I'm not going to lie. The deeper into the week we get, the more I understand the line. I mean, you can't trust Lipski, and I mean, this fight starts on the feet. Shevchenko has a big advantage on the feet. Who knows? Maybe she's made improvements. I mean, her sister is the best fucking woman fighter in the world. So, I mean, we know she's getting good training. She's training with the best chick on planet Earth. So if Shevchenko shows up and maybe her takedown defense does look just a little bit better, hey, that might be enough. So I understand why Shevchenko is the favorite now, and I'm going to pick her. I'm going to pick her to win a 29-28 unanimous decision.
Yeah, man. Next fight, man. This is a great fight. We got Joaquin Buckley versus Jordan Wright, and we both have a play in this fight. I'll let you go first. Who you got?
Yeah, man. So this is my parlay with Rafael Dos Anjos from last week. So I'm already halfway there. I got Joaquin Buckley. The odds to finish off the parlay are going to be plus 109. I got 3 units on it. So yeah, man. I mean, what do I got to say about this fight? I mean, Joaquin Buckley coming off the knockout of all knockouts against Impa Kasanganay in a fight where, I mean, dude, there was a lot of fucking hype on Impa Kasanganay. I mean, I bet him in that spot personally. I mean, he was looking amazing up until that point. Impa Kasanganay is a real serious fucking dude. And not only did Joaquin Buckley knock him out in that fight, because I feel like that's what some people are just trying to make it out to be like, oh yeah, it was a close fight and then he knocked him out. No, hell no. Joaquin Buckley was winning that fight, bro. He looked sharp. He looked good against Holland too. I mean, at first he looked good against Holland for sure. Like, he was leaning a lot on Holland. I mean, the dude swings heat. The dude's super athletic. He's very powerful. I mean, Holland was on his, he was on the defense there for a little while, but I mean, it just turned out to be too big of a mismatch. Kevin Holland's one of the best fighters in the world. But props to Buckley. And I'll say this, Buckley took that fight on short notice too, guys. When he got that full camp in his next fight against Impa Kasanganay, he showed up, looked a lot better. So he gets the highlight of all highlights. What does the UFC decide to do with a guy who just gets a gigantic highlight reel knockout? We want to build this guy up. Who can we give to build up Joaquin Buckley? Oh, I know this. I mean, let's be honest. Clown in Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright is not the prettiest, guys. Let me just say that. So I'll be honest, he does have some good kicks. I like his kicking game, his spinning back kicks, his leg kicks. I mean, the dude can kick, and not only can he kick, he kicks like a mule too, so I'll give him that. But, I mean, the hands are not good. When he took his first big step up in competition against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, which was only 3 fights ago, he got absolutely starched in under a minute. Now, I will give him this. I did think he looked a lot better in his next fight against Gabriel Checo. Then he gets the call up to the UFC and fights Ike Villanueva, who, holy shit, how does Ike still have a contract with the UFC? You know, Ike Villanueva might take a loss to the worst guy on the roster in his next fight. Fucking Mahmoud might come out here and sub Ike Villanueva. That's how terrible this guy is. And my biggest thing in this fight isn't even the knockout power of Buckley or the defense of Wright I've seen. It's not only about that. It's experience. Like, you look at Wright's record, I mean, his first, 8 fights, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 0-21, 0-10, 0-0, 1-2, and then he fights a 7-3 guy, but I dug into that 7-3 guy. He's terrible. His first real fighter he ever fought was Anthony Hernandez, and he got blown out of the water. Takes a fight against Checo, another real fighter, looks better, gets the win. And then Ike Villanueva, who I barely consider a real fucking fighter at this point, he gets the win there. So really, if you're looking at it experience-wise, Jordan Wright has only fought like 2 or 3 real fighters. Joaquin Buckley has, the dude's been in Bellator for almost half a decade, finally got the call up to the UFC. Fought Logan Storley, who we just saw fight recently, really good wrestler. He fought Kevin Holland. He just beat Impa Kasanganay. Joaquin Buckley has a huge experience advantage here, along with the athleticism. He's a much more technical striker. He's much more defensively sound. Jordan Wright is very wild. Like, I know he throws those kicks, but sometimes they're not with very much caution. And I think Joaquin Buckley's going to make him pay, man. I'm gonna say he catches the chin of Jordan Wright. I'm going to be worried one of those kicks lands, hits Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley has been knocked out twice before, but I don't think Jordan Wright's the guy, man. He's just too sloppy and too inexperienced for me. Joaquin Buckley, first round knockout.
Yeah, man. I see a lot of people talking about the Fluffy fight, and I agree. Losing to Fluffy. Fluffy has not been looking that good recently. It's a little concern. It was his first L, but I got Jordan right here, man. I got 2 units at plus 230, and I think that line's off. I think this line's really off. I think this is a good fight. You know what Wright does after he loses to Fluffy before that fight? He was just so cocky, man, in that breakdown for the fight. He got caught, dude, and he got knocked out. And after that fight, before he was actually training with Jackson's MMA his whole career. After that fight, he took some time off. He changed camps. He's training in LA now with a really good kickboxer and Anton Hardonk. I mean, that guy's a Dutch beast. He's getting some good work over there. And, training camps, movie camps after that is the best thing you want to do after your only loss. And then after that, he fights a guy like Gabriel Checo. Looks really good in that fight. I mean, it wasn't even his kicks that did it in that fight. I mean, it was a little bit towards the end, but he dropped him, man, with the straight left. And then he hurt him with that body kick. We saw his grappling in that game because, he hurt him and just kind of out grappled him in that fight, dude. I mean, he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I think that this guy's ground game is good. Buckley, dude, is, no slouch. He looked, I didn't think, a lot of people were saying he looked really good against Kevin Holland. I mean, Kevin Holland's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but I thought Holland, dominated that fight. I know he showed some moments in there, but Holland knocked him out. He's been knocked out twice, like you mentioned. He's been knocked out a couple years ago. So I think a lot of people are saying that Wright's chinning all this shit because he's been knocked out once. I mean, it's going to be tough, man, for Buckley to hit him, man. I think Buckley's going to have to go in there and get inside, and that's what he's going to have to do to get the win. He weighed today at 182.5. So, I mean, Wright's going to be the bigger dude. He already had a 4-inch reach advantage. So, I mean, I think Wright, man, those kicks are really impressive. His movement's really good. I thought he looked really good last fight. Just keep on doing that movement. I just don't want him to back up against the fence because if he backs up against the cage like he did against Fluffy, I mean, it could be a short night because Buckley has the better boxing. Buckley's more athletic. He's fast, but I think Wright does too. And you're getting me 2 strikers in this fight, 2 good strikers. And I think a lot of people are just writing off Wright because that Fluffy loss, man. I think Wright has a lot of potential. I think he has legit kicks. He has great knees. You saw Ike's face, man, was nasty cut, dude. So you gotta admit, man, I think it's hard to take down a guy like Wright too, man. I mean, he's tough to take down. He's good on the feet. I think he has really good kicks, great knees, and his movement, dude's good. The only red flag in this fight, besides the Fluffy fight that I have in Jordan Wright, is that he's only been out of the first round once. I mean, the 6-minute mark. So if that gets extended, then it's something to worry about. But I mean, Buckley slowed down before in the past too. So we haven't really seen Jordan Wright slow down. Just he's been finishing all these guys, and I know he's been fighting a lot of bums and stuff. And the only 3 real fighters he fought are Fluffy, Checo, and Ike. So I got to give, Buckley the advantage there. He's fought the better competition. But I just see Jordan Wright, man, connecting with one of those kicks, man, or a knee, and getting Buckley out of there, dude. So I'm gonna go with Jordan Wright. I'm gonna go with a first round finish, and I think this guy has a lot of potential. I think he has a good right hand as well. I think he has good boxing. We just haven't seen it because his kicks are really good. But I think the reason why he's gonna get this dub is the guy's movement, dude. I think he's gonna frustrate a guy like Buckley, and that reach is just gonna pick him apart, and he's gonna get him out of there. But would it surprise me if Buckley got the job done? No, because this is gonna be a big fight, and we're going to see where Jordan Wright is. Because if Buckley goes out there and charges him, then, I was wrong about Jordan Wright. But I don't think I am, man. I think this guy has a lot of potential, man. We're going to see it here. So I'm going to go with Jordan Wright. I'm going to go with a finish. So next fight, I believe we got Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval. I mean, let's be honest, dude. This fight 100% should be on the main card. This is one of the best fights. I've had a tough time with this fight, man. This is a tough fight. I've been on the Moreno train for a very long time. I mean, I love this kid. I love everything about him. I bet on him multiple times. I even faded him a long time ago with Sergio Perez. But let's be honest, dude. This is a completely different Moreno, man. He's looked so much better since getting cut from the UFC. I think he has a big advantage here on this fight on the feet. I think his boxing is so much better. He's so technical. He has a great right hand. I mean, that Ashcroft fight, he got robbed. He definitely won that fight. He has good grappling too. I mean, he's a very good fighter, dude. He's good everywhere, too. I mean, the way he fought against Formiga, dude, I thought that was really impressive. I thought he won every round. I mean, he reversed Formiga. If he's going out there and reversing a guy like Formiga, I don't see any problem how he can't go out there and take down a guy like Royval. I mean, I think Royval has probably the better jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt, but Moreno's a brown belt. I think Moreno has really good back takes as well, and I think that something about Royval that I don't like is that he accepts the bottom because he gets taken down a lot, dude. That's the thing with him. But this isn't Tim Elliott, dude. Okay, this isn't Kai Kara France. I mean, these guys aren't on the level as Moreno, man, on the mat. Tim Elliott has no cardio. Kai Kara France is a good striker, but I mean, his ground game's questionable and he's chinny, bro. And he's kind of a fraud. Let's be honest. I think that Brandon Moreno is just He's the better striker, like I already mentioned. I think they both have good ground games. I think Royval's, has good cardio. I think he has good knees. I think he has good weight kicks. I think that he's a brawler. He probably has more power than a guy like Moreno. But Moreno's just more technical, and I think Moreno can pick him apart. I think he can take down Royval when he wants to, and I think he can stay out of the bad spots that Royval, could give a guy like Tim Elliott and Kai France. I mean, would have surprised me if Royval threw up some good submission attempts and Moreno had to fight out of it? No, because we see Moreno battle out of bad submission attempts, but I just think that both these guys have great ground games, and I just think it's gonna cancel out. I think it's gonna be on the feet a lot. And if you're giving me, a guy like Moreno, I think he's a better striker, dude. So I'm gonna go with Brandon Moreno. I think he gets a finish here, man. A lot of people are saying decision. That could happen, but I actually think he's gonna hurt him, man, on the feet really bad, and I think he's gonna get him out of there, dude. So I'm gonna go with Brandon Moreno. I say a third round submission win. I think he's gonna take down. He's gonna hurt the Royval and get him out of there, man. So I got Brandon Moreno, and I think this is a big step up for Royval as well. He's not fighting like the Elliott's and the Kai Francis. Let's be honest. This should be Moreno fighting Davison for the belt. It should not be Alex Perez, and I think Moreno would finish Alex Perez. So I got Alex. I got Brandon Moreno by submission.
Man, this is a tough fight to call for me. I'm gonna agree with you though. I'm gonna go with Moreno. I feel like Moreno has paid his dues to earn that minus money in this spot. He probably should be the favorite, so I will go with him. I'm just not sure how much I favor him by. This is another tough one. It kind of like the Stoltzfus versus Daukaus fight for me. Like I favor Moreno like kind of everywhere in this fight, but only by a little bit, man. And I can see Royval, having success in this fight. I think he can land some big stuff on the feet. I think maybe he will have the more volume. I think if it hits the mat, maybe he can lock in a submission. Maybe he can reverse Moreno on top. Like Brandon Royval's a serious dude. He can do all those things. It's just based on what I've seen, based on, experience, level of competition. Like I got to think that Moreno is going to get the better of the striking here. I think he can crack Royval. I think he can outstrike him over the course of 3 rounds. And then when it comes to the grappling, I can see Moreno kind of, taking a page out of my boy Casey Kenny's book and just, coming out here, relentless wrestling, take this guy down, hold top control. Don't do anything stupid because Brandon Royval is serious off his back. I mean, he's an excellent jiu-jitsu player, the way he submitted Tim Elliott was definitely impressive for sure. Got to be careful against a guy like Brandon Royval. Brandon Moreno certainly has to be on his P's and Q's. He has to fight to the utmost top of his ability here, but I think he's going to do it. I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno. I'm going to say he wins a 29-28 unanimous decision. But again, for DraftKings, I kind of lean the Royval side. I mean, 7,600. If he wins, he's probably going to score a lot. I mean, the dude throws hella volume. He goes for finishes. So, yeah, Moreno's going to be the pick. But from a betting and DraftKings perspective, I'll say Royval might be the play.
My bad, man. I was making my lunch and I burned my pasta. So, anyways, first out of the main event or main card, we got Shogun versus Paul Craig. Pretty straightforward fight. If you watch the first fight, it was Paul Craig who got a 10-8, and then Shogun won the last 2 rounds. But I think we saw some bad IQ from Paul Craig. I just think that these two guys are on different levels right now. I think that one of these guys is, washed up and on the way out, and at the end of his career. And then you got Paul Craig who's improving every fight. I mean, we used to make jokes about this guy, man, say that he's a jobber and all this stuff. But I mean, let's be honest, dude. He's been impressing me, dude. I mean, yes, he's been knocked out 3 times. So, I mean, he's still a big question mark. But, I mean, I think that he's the better fighter here right now. I mean, it's kind of funny saying Paul Craig's the better fighter than Shogun in 2020, but I think it's true. I think Paul Craig has to do what he did last fight in that first round. You got to give him no respect, pressure him, go forward, and just, strike, man. I mean, his right hand's been, is pretty good. He's big for the division. I think Shogun has to get him down if he wants to win this fight. And he could take down Paul Craig. It's not like Paul Craig can get taken down. Paul Craig's a legit black belt, but I mean, we saw Shogun kind of control him after 2 rounds. So if Shogun's smart and he takes him down, I mean, he can get the W here, man. I mean, I'm not saying Paul Craig's a lock. I mean, I got Paul Craig winning, but I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me Shogun's not live. I think he's live, but I can't pick him here, dude. So I'll go Paul Craig. I say he finishes Shogun, gets the biggest win of his career, and then they'll give him a big fight next, and he'll get destroyed. So I got Paul Craig winning, and then fighting John Hall Hill after John. Actually, they're not going to do that. Never mind. John Hill's going to fight OSP, but they'll give Paul Craig someone good, and he'll die. So I got Paul Craig by first round KO.
Yeah, man. Not only did he come in 10-8 Shogun Hua in that first fight, Paul Craig took that fight on short notice. This time he's got the full camp. This time Shogun is a whole year older. This time he is coming off, let's be honest, he took some damage against Little Nog. Little Nog's he got some good fucking punches in there, man. He hurt Shogun for sure. That was a very close fight. I bet Shogun there. I sweat my ass off. I thought he barely scraped the win. Man, Paul Craig's going to finish the job this time, in my opinion. It's hard for me to go out and lay that kind of juice on a guy like Paul Craig. But, I mean, let's be honest. He's one of the cheaper options on DraftKings. He most likely is going to finish the job with that first round finish this time. Paul Craig is one of my favorite DraftKings plays on this card. Easily, man. Like him a lot in this spot. All respect to the legend Shogun, but let's be honest, he's on the way down. Paul Craig's on the way up. They already fought before. Craig already 10-8'd him on short notice. Shogun was, let's be honest, Shogun, he might have gotten lucky to get that draw, man. I can't remember. I think it was the third round. It was either the second or the third round that actually arguably could have gone to Paul Craig as well. I can't remember though, but yeah, Paul Craig's he's gonna do the damn thing this time. I'll go with I'm gonna say first round knockout.
Yeah, man. Next fight, Caitlin Chukagian versus Cynthia Calvillo. Man, who you got in this one?
Man, I got my girl Cynthia Calvillo here, man, against Chukagian. Jeez, man, I don't want to be overconfident, but this almost seems obvious to me. Cynthia Calvillo moving up to 125 pounds in her last fight against Jessica Ai looked the best she ever looked. She dominated Jessica Ai, man. That was a great fight, and say what you want about Jessica Ai, but I believe she was either ranked like 1 or 2 in the world at that point. Cynthia Calvillo she was going right into the deep end of that 25 division, and she passed the flying colors, dominated Jessica Ai, man. So she's certainly on the way up for sure, and she's paid her dues. She's got over 10 pro fights now. She's fought some great girls down at 115, and we're talking JoJo Calderwood, Carla Esparza, Marina Rodriguez got the draw there. On the other side with Chukagian, Chukagian's got some good wins as well. She beat JoJo too. She beat Irene Aldana, man. But the problem for me, I feel like ever since that Valentina Shevchenko fight where she took a hellacious beating, I feel like it hasn't really been the same since. Coming from like a mental perspective, I don't want to say she's checking out of the game, but she is talking about it. She is talking about wanting like kids and last fight and shit. And she bounced back against Valentina's sister, but we just talked about it a few fights ago. Valentina's sister literally has negative takedown defense, so that was a great spot for Chukagian to bounce back. But as soon as she stepped back up to a real fighter, Jessica Andrade got crushed to the body, went down, first round knockout. That was only a month ago, guys. I know it's a body shot, but fuck, you can't come back 1 month after that shit. I don't like it, man. I think all the X factors go towards Calvillo here. And if you want to talk about it from a skill point, I like Calvillo striking, man. It's came a long fucking way. She's going to be the one fighting in there. She's going to be the one throwing, heat. We know what Chukagian does. She fucking dances around. She point strikes. She makes her noises, and it's fucking boring striking, man. It's not. There's no threat whatsoever. I'm sure Chukagian by KO is plus 5,000 here. There's no KO threat. It's just dancing around trying to outpoint somebody, and Calvillo, oh my god, dude, that shit's not gonna happen with Calvillo. She's gonna bust Chook up on the feet. She's gonna land takedowns. I haven't even gotten to the takedown defense, guys. Chukagian's takedown defense. All right, I gotta look this up because it's really bad, guys. Her takedown defense, I want to say, is less than 50%. She's gotten takedown by a lot of girls. Yeah, it's 48%. Some of the girls she's gotten taken down by. We're just talking Lauren Murphy looks good these days. She got her down, though. Liz Carmouche got her down. Mara Barella got her down. Alexis Davis got her down. JoJo got her down 3 times. Maia got her down once. Valentina got her down 3 times. And Drod got her down twice. Like, Calvillo can win that way too, man. So I like Calvillo wherever this fight goes. I like all the X factors in her favor. I got her in a 3-unit parlay with somebody later in the card. And I'm going to say she gets a TKO here in round 2.
Yeah, man. You said everything I wanted to say. I wanted to bring up all those stats, but you already did. I think Calvillo's, this is her weight class. I think that we saw her last performance. That was the best performance we've ever seen. I'm really high on Calvillo. I've been on a while. I mean, she's 5-1 and 1 in the UFC. Dude, she's really good, man. And her striking's improved so much. I mean, she won every round, I thought, against this guy, and her striking looked really good. Yeah, big advantage here on the mat. We've seen Caitlin's been take down. Now, 48% taking on the fence is not that good. I think that she can take her down. But the thing is, it's funny here is that 2 years ago, could you tell me that Calvillo would win the striking fight? Whether that Calvillo could, win a decision and could pick apart a girl like Chukagian? Probably not. But now, yeah, dude, I think Calvillo could win a striking fight. Man, she doesn't have to take her down here. She's going to mix it up. But this is going to be a comfortable decision for Calvillo or a finish. Calvillo is just a great fighter, man. She's improved a lot. She has a ground advantage here, and I think that she's the better striker. I think that Chukagian is, a good point fighter, and she's really technical. But, I mean, Calvillo's pressure, man, that right hand, that jab, it's good, dude. So I got Calvillo mixing it up, and I say getting a good decision here, maybe a finish. Next fight, obviously, the people's main event. We got Mike Perry versus Tim Means. I mean, let's be honest, dude. Is this guy even going to, make weight? I see someone trying to make weight right now on my other screen. I don't know who it is. I'm praying that it's Mike Perry, but I don't know if he's going to make weight. But we still got to do the breakdown because I think this fight's going to go down. Yeah, dude, I got Tim Means here, dude. 3 units plus 130. I think that he's the more tactical striker. I think he has more volume. I think if he really wins this fight, if he just doesn't get caught, dude. I mean, I bet Mickey Gall last fight, so I feel like if I bet a guy like Mickey Gall against Mike Perry, I mean, I gotta bet Tim Means, dude. I mean, Tim Means is a way better fighter than Mickey Gall. And Mickey Gall won the first round against Mike Perry on all 3 judges' scorecards, and he outstruck him. You want to know why Mickey Gall lost that fight? The guy has no cardio, dude. He gasses out every fight. He gassed out against Diego Sanchez. I thought it was just because he had that really bad kidney problem and all that stuff. No, dude. This guy has no cardio. And, Mike Perry out-grappled him. I don't think Mike Perry's going to be able to out-grapple a guy like Tim Means. And Tim Means never gasses out, dude. He has good cardio, dude. The thing in this fight is Perry has more power. You got to mention he hits like a truck. He has good striking. He has good power. But, I mean, there's just so much shit going on with Perry right now, man. It's hard not to fade him, dude. I mean, he's going to have his pregnant girlfriend in the corner again. He's talking shit all week about his weight cut. He's having trouble making the weight cut. I don't know if people know this, but a couple of days ago, I was on Instagram, and on his story, he was eating deep fried shrimp and shit with his girlfriend. I forgot to mention that, dude. I'm like, whoa, I'm not kidding, dude. I don't know if he had that plate there just to toy with people, but I mean, they were at a restaurant and he was eating some deep fried shrimp, dude. So, I mean, Perry just is not taking it seriously, I feel like, dude. And, I mean, we still can't ignore that the guy is no slouch, okay? He has dynamite in his hands. If he wins this fight, I think he's just lands the harder shots. He gets a KO because, Tim Means is on the decline too. I'm not going to say he's not. He is on the decline. We've seen a different Tim Means, lately. But Daniel Rodriguez is a lot better than Mike Perry. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to really discredit him for that loss because there's a short notice. But Rodriguez is a great fighter, dude. And then, the fight, I mean, there's a lot of fights with, Tim Means you can go either way. Even the Sergio Moraes fight, I thought he got raw. I thought he won that fight. His last fight, he looked really good. I mean, that was an impressive win. I thought he won every round against Starpoli. I mean, he hurt him with that head kick. The Nico Price fight, he was smoking him, and then he got knocked out. Tim Means only been knocked out, once or twice? I mean, he's still a durable dude. I mean, he has a good chin. He's tough. I just think that, we've seen him be hurt in some fights. So if Perry wins this fight, I think it's going to be by KO. But if Means doesn't get caught, I see him winning here. I think he's more technical. I think he does more volume. I think that he has good jiu-jitsu. I think that he can take down Perry. I think Perry could probably take him down, but I think that it's just going to be Tim Means, out-striking him and landing more shots and picking apart a guy like Mike Perry. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go with Tim Means. I'm going to say he finishes Mike Perry. I'm going to say he hurts him really bad in the feet. and he Darce strokes him. So I got Tim Means by submission.
Man, this is a good fight. Glad it's on the main card. You know it's going to deliver. I'm going to go with Tim Means as well. I got a bet on him. I got 2 units at plus 135. So, I mean, just speaking from a skill standpoint, you don't even have to know boxing just to know that. I mean, just watch their fights and it's pretty obvious. Tim Means is, he's a sharper, more technical boxer. He's taller, reach advantage. I mean, he's just overall much, much cleaner with his technique. We know what Perry brings. I mean, he's a brawler with power, and I actually think Perry's arguably better in the clinch than he is, like at distance. Like he's nasty in that clinch for sure, and he's even improved his game, mixed in takedowns these days for sure. He's a strong guy, definitely, but man, Means overall, I feel like he's more technical everywhere. He's better everywhere. I mean, we're talking about a guy with 42 pro fights, more experienced. So I like Means here from a skill standpoint. My worry, of course, Means durability for sure. He's been rocked a lot. He's been knocked out. Mike Perry's a guy with big power for sure. He looks for that knockout. Absolutely. He's going to go for it. I just think it's going to be a little hard. I view it as low percentage for Mike Perry to get a knockout here against a guy who's a superior striker. This kind of reminds me of the Nico Price fight where, Means was definitely a more technical striker than Nico Price, but props to you. You bet Nico Price there because, you knew Nico Price, he's got that special kind of power, and he was a big underdog, and there was enough of a chance that he could knock out Means there, and that's what happened. You can make that argument for Perry, but I will say this. Nico Price, man, he's a guy with way more power. Nico Price has that special kind of power. Mike Perry hasn't knocked anything out in 3 years. Nico Price is a guy making improvements every fight in his prime, whereas Mike Perry, let's just get into it, man. The guy is falling apart personally and as a fighter. His personal life's in shambles. Let's not even get into it. And then in the cage, all the damage this guy's taken, just the way he fights, his style, he's a brawler, he gets hit a lot. You saw that Luque fight, you saw that nose, serious damage. And then in his next fight, they give him, one of the best knockout artists in the UFC, one of the best up-and-comers in the UFC, future title challenger, Jeff Neal, absolutely, blast him with the head kick, destroys him in a minute. You're hearing things like Mike Perry didn't remember that fight until a few days later and didn't remember any of it, never remembered some of it. The guy has taken a lot of damage, and it's worrying because it's also making him do some pretty terrible, shitty things outside the cage. I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to go with Tim Means here. He's obviously the guy who's more disciplined. I guarantee you he's been more disciplined for this fight camp. I spoke about the skills. He's much better. He's a better boxer. It's going to be hard for Perry to knock out a guy who is superior to him in that area. And let's talk about it with the weigh-in stuff going on today. So some of these tweets he made this morning, guys, he went off on a tangent on Twitter saying shit like, I'm sorry, man, I don't think I can make it, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I've outgrown this. Maybe I should lay down the gloves. Really saying shit like I'm dying already and have 6 pounds to go. Man, everything's favoring Means in this spot. So give me him. I'm going to say he gets the knockout in round 1.
Yeah, man. We're right now. I'm watching it right now. Someone's trying to make weight. I think it's just Lipski and him, the 2 more people. So hopefully he makes weight. This is gonna be a really short breakdown for me. We got Valentino versus Jennifer Maia. Honestly, man, I don't know who's gonna beat Shevchenko. I really don't. Calvillo could definitely cause some problems. So I'm not gonna sit here and say Calvillo is the one to do it, but Calvillo has the best chance of anyone in that division right now. Who has the best chance to beat Shevchenko? Calvillo and Amanda again. Amanda will probably beat her again, but at 125, I think Calvillo, dude. So, Jennifer Maia, great submission win last fight. I got to give her the prop for that. I remember I bet on her 5 minutes before the fight. I think I threw her down $100, something like that. And dude, Great submission. Great submissions. Jennifer Maia. Yeah, you're just not on that level. So I got Shevchenko by a first-round submission.
Yeah, man. I mean, what can I say? It's a complete mismatch. Jennifer Maia, I'll give her credit, though. I mean, she locked in a nice sub against JoJo, but this isn't JoJo anymore. This is Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko has you beaten in every single area of the game. This isn't a question of who's going to win the fight. This is a question of how is Valentina going to win this fight. Is it going to be a knockout, submission, or decision? I guess I'd make a decision the third least likely out of the three because I'd be surprised if Maia survived for 25 minutes. Let's see how Maia has lost in the past. Has Maia ever been submitted or knocked out? She got knocked out in 10 seconds back in 2012. That's interesting. So she's never been submitted. So I will say Valentina Shevchenko gets the knockout then. I'll say she gets it. I'll say somewhere around the middle of the fight. I'll say third round knockout, Valentina Shevchenko.
Man, next fight, main event, Davison, man, versus Alex Perez. Who you got in this one, man?
Yeah, man, this is going to be the other half of my parlay with Cynthia Calvillo. I got 3 units on Davison Figueiredo, so I got that Figueiredo Calvillo parlay at minus 115. Man, I love this fight for Davison Figueiredo, man. And I'm a big fan of Alex Perez. If you guys have been watching me for a while, I mean, I've bet this guy in almost every one of his UFC fights. Love Alex Perez, for sure. The only time he hurt me is when I bet on him against Joseph Benavidez. Man, I mean, I guess he was just coming off so much hype from that Jose Shorty Torres fight. Like, y'all remember, Jose Shorty Torres was the guy who was, like, super hyped up because he went, like, 23-0 in amateurs, 2-division champion in Titan FC. People were assuming he was about to come into the UFC and wreck shop. Like, give him Alex Perez. Guys, Alex Perez, like, he murdered him. He killed him. He was never the same again. Shorty's not even in the UFC anymore. Like, he literally, like, killed a blue chip prospect. Alex Perez is serious as shit. But then in his next fight against Joseph Benavidez, like, my thought process was thinking, like, Joseph Benavidez, you know, he's kind of falling apart. Like, I thought it was going to go like the way Joseph Benavidez 2 fights against Davidson's fight went. But the thing was, like, Joseph Benavidez came out with the greatest game plan in that fight. Like, he did exactly what he should have, because if he would have just sat back and let Alex Perez come at him, he would have done exactly what Davison Figueiredo would have. Like, he would have pressured him, hit him with a good one, knocked him out. But Joseph Benavidez decided to go at Alex Perez first. He went straight towards Perez, put some serious pressure on him, hurt Alex Perez, knocked him out twice in that fight, man. Like, he took some serious damage there. Like, that was such a concerning fight that I was worried that Alex Perez actually would not come back the same, like, really bad. And I think the UFC kind of knew that too by the way they gave him Mark De La Rosa, who's, you know, one of the bigger bums in the division. I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. So he bounced back. He got the win over Mark De La Rosa. Jordan Espinoza, you know, Espinoza is a good fighter. He got the first round finish there. But, I mean, Jordan Espinoza, we're not talking, you know, top 10 by any means there. But the Formiga fight, his next one, comes in, gets the first round finish there as well. I mean, we all know Jussier Formiga, long time, like, top 5 perennial contender in the UFC, you know, one of the best backpackers in UFC history. Formiga's a beast, but he came in there, leg kicked him to death, impressive performance. But the problem for me is Jussier Formiga is a declining fighter that just got released. Like, Davison Figueiredo is a monster in his prime. He's he's not going to get smashed like Jose Shorty Torres got smashed. He's not going to just get taken down and insta-subbed by, like, Espinoza did. He's not just going to get his legs kicked off like Formiga did. I think Figueiredo comes out here and takes a page out of Joseph Benavidez's book, comes straight at Alex Perez, and I'm not convinced that Alex Perez is going to be able to take it. I think Davison Figueiredo is in for a very quick knockout here. Now, if it doesn't go that way, if it doesn't end up being a quick knockout, I think Alex Perez needs to get off on those leg kicks for sure. Like, that's his key to victory. Like, take away the power from Davison by kicking those fucking legs. But I think he's going to have a hard time doing that, man. Like, Davison Figueiredo is just so fast and crisp on the feet. I see him avoiding those. And if he isn't able to get the knockout on Perez, I can see him just outstriking him throughout the whole fight. It's going to be interesting if it gets extended, though, because let's be honest, we have seen Davison slow down in the past. But I will say, based on all the things I've seen this week, Davison Figueiredo has taken, his diet and his weight cut more seriously than ever before. And I mean, the guy's a monster. Can you blame him for gassing at 125 pounds in the past? I mean, I can't. I can't believe the guy makes the weight, but now it looks like he just had the easiest weight cut of his life. He's got a nutritionist, all that good stuff. The guy's got championship money now. I think Davison Figueiredo is due for a long championship run, and his first title defense starts here with Alex Perez. So I'm going to go with first round knockout.
Yeah, I do agree, man. I think Perez has a chance to win this fight. He's live. I think the line's a little off because, I mean, the guy has good grappling, too, let's be honest, and he's a big dude. His striking's improved, but, I mean, his striking's not on the level of Davison. He's a little chinny, too. I mean, Joe B dropped him and finished him, and that's a questionable performance. Davison's the champ, and, I mean, he's the best fighter in the division, dude. And also, if this fight is the mat, which, I mean, yeah, Perez could take him down. I mean, Jared Brooks, took him down multiple times. Formiga did. Davison's a legit black belt. I mean, I think that Davison could actually tap him out here, dude. I mean, Perez has been tapped out 3 times, so I do think that this is a good fight for Davison. I think that the line's a little off. I think Perez could have a little success. He has great leg kicks. You forgot to mention that, but yeah. Davison's boxing, dude, is just so good, and he's a KO artist, man. And when he smells blood, he goes after it. Nasty fighter, great chin. His cardio is definitely a little questionable, but I mean, we haven't really seen Perez either go, that way. I mean, he's won a couple of decisions, but against guys that are not even, really UFC fighters. So I'll go with Davison with the KO as well, and I think that he deserves to be the champ. And I agree that I don't know if you said it, but I think Moreno should get the next crack. So there you guys go. There are predictions. Obviously, Mike Perry's still trying to make weight. So, I mean, just, stay tuned to Twitter on that. Recapping my plays: 3 units on Means, 2 units on Gooden, 2 units on Wright. And, yeah, what about you? Do your recap real quick.
Yeah, I got the 3 units to finish off the parlay. I got Joaquin Buckley with Dos Anjos plus 109, 3-unit parlay with Davison and Calvillo minus 115, and then I got 2 underdog shots, 2 units each, both at plus 135, Tim Means and Jared Nitrain Gooden.
Let's get it, guys. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you guys have. Hopefully he makes weight so the fight can happen, and we'll be back next week. And, yeah, can't wait, man, for tomorrow's card. And let's do it, guys. So peace out. Kelton, you want to say anything else if you want to go?
Nah, man, I'm good. I'm pumped, bro. Let's do this.
Let's do it, man.